Okay guys, it's Monday morning. I'm down at the local wreckers. You guys call them, in America you guys call them junkyards, but yeah, I found a Ford Laser which should be the same as the Mazda 323 4-doors, and I'm about to pull a petrol tank out of it. Now I hope they're the same, because yeah, I'll pull it out, get there, but we'll find out. So this tank's a lot cleaner, as you saw in the last video. The 323 tank is like full rusty mud water coming out of it, and when you feel around in it you literally just feel rust and grit. So I'm just going to swap it for the sake of whatever it's going to cost me to and time to pull it out. I'll just swap tanks. I will need to get another pump because all these lasers only have carby engines. Mine's EFI, so I would need to put another pump in it, but I want the carrier too, because the carrier's all pretty fucked, to be honest. So I'll swing the camera around and give you a quick look. So at the moment I'm just pulling out the filler neck because you can see under here the filler neck hose is really stubborn, really hard. So if I at least pull out, there we go, so just like that. And then there is another hose connected next to it, a breather hose, just like that. And there's a breather hose connected next to it which I'll need to pull out. But I've got all the bolts out to the tank, it's been drained. So let me check back when I've got a bit further. Alright guys, so you can see we've got the tank out. If you have a look inside there, it's bloody, just dusty, but it's bloody spotless compared to the rust mountain we've got sludge box of the 323. Now these run a different, the tank's the same, but these look like a different sender. So being a carby, these look like this bolts in, and then it has an inline, must have an inline carby electronic pump along the rail somewhere, because there's actually nowhere to fit a pump in here. So it's just obviously just your strainer for pickup and your return, that's it. So it must have an inline pump, which that sort of suits me, because number one, I don't have to worry about a 323 pump. I can just fit a laser, a 323 tank. I can just fit a laser tank in, and number two, I can just get a cheap universal EFI pump and do the same thing, put it along the rail. All the wiring's at the back seat of my 323 for the pump, so I can solder, extend wires. That's super easy, and probably what they're going to charge me for this, it's just the simplest solution. So I'm going to put all this back together, then we'll head home and we'll start fitting it up. Well, there you go lads, I just wanted to touch on the fact that you know, don't be afraid to go down to your local wreckers with a bag of tools and pull the parts you need. So, you know, like I've got a mid-80s clean, perfect laser fuel tank and a sender with a can of Coke, a Mars bar, and I've got a parcel shelf that I will show you. So it sits on, you know, like on hatch cars, the parcel shelf sits on like sort of behind the back seats. It hooks up to your hatch, so when you lift it, it comes up. When you shut it, you can't see into the hatch. So I managed to find a laser one of those which will fit my 323. They're basically the same car, same interior, almost everything. The only thing I didn't find is my 323 must have like an extra console bit that has like a bit under the stereo, under the dash, before it hits the manual shifter. My one's like broken. All the base model lasers didn't have one of those, so I assume that yeah, there must be a high spec type thing, or a 323 only thing. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, the tank and the food, the drink, and the parcel shelf. You can sort of see what I mean there. I'll show you better when we get home. But that was like $60, man. $60 for it all, and it took me about half an hour of just pulling it out. It's a piece of piss. So yeah. So don't always, if you've got, I know not everyone has time, but you don't always have to buy a brand new part. Recycling used car parts at sort of self-serve wreckers like this is like awesome. You can literally go get all little clips you're missing, little buttons, whatever. So yeah, yeah, I'm just in the car now. We're about to head home, and then well, I might have to stop at a parts store and get an inline, just a universal inline EFI pump, and maybe a filter and some hose line. and then yeah, we should be able to sort of fit it back up and see if we can get the 323 started, put some fuel in it and see how it goes. Hopefully it's a runner, hopefully it's a we can sort of put it all back together. Once we know it's running, then I'll go full hard into detailing it, doing a service and all that, but I don't want to do too much until I know it's running. Worst case, I've already got a plan. Worst case, if it doesn't run, then we'll strip it and sell it for parts. I mean, it's got all Familia stuff on it, so I should be able to get triple what I paid for it back if I was to sell it for parts. But with this one, I ideally want to sort of just see if I can get it running, see if it's a solid motor, because I do, at the moment, I'm using my partner's little Mazda, brand new Mazda 3 to go get parts and run around in, and while she's been super kind enough to let me do it, I don't want to keep doing it because I want to keep this car, it's a 2018 Mazda 3, I want to keep this car clean. So I was thinking that little 323 might be my little sort of cool parts run around. And being a four-door, like I said earlier video, you can fold the seats down, I can put parts galore in it, be the injected twin cam. If it all is a solid thing, then it should be pretty reliable, and a fun little buzz box to cruise around in. Anyway, enough talking, let's get home. Alright, so it's the next day. We got sidetracked. I got sidetracked yesterday afternoon. But anyway, got some good and bad news. So the bad news first is this is the sender that's come out of that original EFI rusty tank. And obviously we touched on it earlier, but the sender is a circle cutout for the EFI tanks, and the carby tanks are oval. So we're going to try and get around that by running an external fuel pump or whatnot. But after comparing the tanks, there's a lot more, I'll show you quickly, there's a lot more difference than just the cutouts. So this is the carby tank, and it doesn't have a swirl pot, which usually just is a sort of a square little mini surge tank swirl pot thing, and it doesn't have the side baffles on the tank. So after I found that out last night, I rang up a local radiator shop, and they're going to attempt to clean out my tank. So I just dropped it off there quickly. They closed at 5, I got there at like 4:45, so I wasn't really able to film much. So yeah, at the moment I'm just waiting on the tank to get cleaned and pick it up. So after all that spiel at the records about using recycled parts, I didn't really end up needing this tank. So yeah, if you get parts from the wreckers, pay close attention and make sure that it's exactly the same, as the shell looks the same, but the internals are totally different. So I thought, instead of mucking around with external fuel pumps and running extra line and all that, it's just better for me to get this tank cleaned and get a new fuel pump. So next on my agenda is to sort this out. Now I don't know whether it's worth me getting a new sender or just pulling this pump off, maybe getting it like sandblasted or cleaned somehow. I don't know, I'm new to this sort of side of things. So obviously I can pull all the wires off, I can pull the pump out. I'm just worried about this rod if I put it in the parts wash. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, because the only problem is that these are not common to get. So I've put an online post and sort of no one's really replying, so I'm thinking I'm going to have to attempt to clean this one up. So when the tank gets here from being cleaned, then we'll pull all this apart, we'll clean all this up, whack that in the tank, and yeah, it should all work. This is the sort of, I don't know if you can see if it focuses, but this is like the goo that I put out of the bottom of the pickup here. It was all sort of stuck in there like that. Ripped that all out, and then that's the strainer that was connected to the pump, and you can see. So the pump's obviously the tank's disgusting, but man, that's disgusting too. So, but yeah, tell me what you guys think is the best process for cleaning this in the comments below. But for now, till the tank gets back, we're going to leave it there, and yeah, tune into the next one when we get the tank back. Cheers guys.